Guys, yesterday we have started our discussion with the fourth subtopic in the first unit, that is software environment for distributed system and clouds. Okay, here we were going to discuss about service oriented architecture. We call them as SOA. Okay, and the next trend towards the distributed operating systems. We are going to discuss in these two topics in the software environments for distributed systems and clouds. Okay, guys. Right, let us start the discussion related to service oriented architecture, SOA. Okay, before going to discuss about the service oriented architecture, we have to know about what is a web service. Let us start the discussion with what is a web service. Okay, before going to discuss about this web service, guys, okay, what is a SaaS? What is SaaS?
Software as a service.
Okay, software as a service means anyone?
సాఫ్ట్వేర్ ని మనం రెంట్ కి ఇవ్వడం సార్.
సాఫ్ట్వేర్ ని మనం రెంట్ ఇవ్వడం కాదు, we have to
అదే సార్
take that
వాళ్ళు రెంట్ కి
okay,
తీసుకోవడం.
we are taking the rent from the third party provider. Okay, what we
Yes,
have
sir.
to do is just we have to pay the rents only here. What we can do is only we will just pay the rent for the software we are using from the cloud. Okay, for using the software as a service, what are the requirements, guys? Just have a small system with internet connectivity and browser. Okay, these three are the requirements: system, internet browser, and the next one is internet connection. Okay, to use as any cloud, to use the clouds, we just have the system, internet capabilities, and browser to get the services. Okay, software as a service means taking the software for rental basis, guys. Taking the software for rental basis. Here it will provide the complete solution, guys. SaaS, it will provide the complete solution. If you take Amazon Web Services, okay, if you went for the, so for suppose if you went one software for from AWS, it will provide the complete solution related to that one. It provides complete solution. For if you take salesforce.com, it is having a different software related to CRM. Okay, content relational management. Okay, it will provide the full information related to that one. Likewise, Salesforce also, it will provide complete solutions related to the customer relationship management. Customer relationship management, CRM, guys. Likewise, if you went for the TurboTax, it will provide the full information related to tax fuel. It is also one SaaS. Okay, for sometimes, guys, for sometimes we don't need to go for the complete solution. Okay, we can, if we need only specific services. Okay, we need only specific services. For example, okay, outside the temperature. Okay, what is the weather report of outside? That is a one specific thing, not complete thing related to that information. Okay, likewise, PNR status related to a IRCTC, that is the only specific service. Okay, these specific services we call them as a web services. These specific services we call them as a web services, guys. Once again, I'm repeating, guys. Okay, SaaS provides complete solutions. SaaS provides complete solutions like TurboTax. It will give the information related to the tax filing. Salesforce.com, it will provide the complete solution related to the web application for customer relationship management. For sometimes, guys, we don't need the complete solution. We need only specific services. Like example, outside the weather report, like related to IRCTC, only particular service is getting the PNR status. Okay, that is a particular service. These we call them as a web service, guys. Clear, guys? What is a web service? All of you? 95 clear? 95? Okay. Let us see the uses of different web services, guys. We have not till now, we have not entered today what is service oriented architecture. We have just discussed about what is SaaS, what is web service. Okay, we will next few slides we will link these services to the service oriented architecture, guys. Why we are discussing about web services, okay, how we will link these web services to service oriented architecture. Let us see. Before going to that one, let us see the uses of web services. Let us see the uses of web services, guys. It will normally SAS provide the complete solution, but web services will give only solution for the specific task. Like example, query of price of stack. Okay, stack lo unna prices, for getting those information we use web service. Okay, likewise current product inventory levels. For suppose any supermarket is there, for that supermarket what are the different products and their inventory levels. Okay, how much stock is there, all these things also we will get. This is another application for the web service. And the next one is road and weather condition. This is also one of the web service. Okay, next, flight arrival and departure information. This is a specific task. All these are specific task, not complete solution, guys. Like product and services, purchase a product or service, that is also one web service. And credit card processing, all these are different web services, guys. Okay, what we can observe is that all these are specific tasks, not complete tasks. Okay, if you take the IRCTC website, okay, it contains different tasks, guys. One is PNR status, next train arrival and departure information, all these we combined. Okay, but if you take web service, means it's only a specific task, not the complete task, guys. This point we have to remember, guys. Okay, let us see the how the web services will work. Let us see the how the web services will work, guys. Okay, if you observe the bottom one, okay, first one, the top one is the normally user will send the information asking for the application that will be there in the SAS. This diagram will represent that one. User will getting the information from SAS application. The application will in turn, okay, will send the information to the web server. To get any information, it has to interact with the web server. It has to interact with the web server. The web server, what it will do, guys, it will process that request and send the result back to the application. Okay, this is the first task, guys. This is the second task. User will ask for the some request, okay, that is there in the application, that is there in the SAS. Okay, in turn that application will ask for the web server for any information that will be processed related to that application will be processed in the web server. The information will be, okay, whatever the application he need, okay, specific application, for that he is asking for the web server. Okay, again the web server will process that request and the result will be again back to the application. Okay, from that application, that will be, we will get it from the user, from the SAS application. This is the first task. After that, second task, guys. Okay, understand, guys? This will be the web services will be processed across the web for a particular task, specific task, guys. Understand, guys? Okay, user will request for the specific task that will be there in the SAS application. Okay, the SAS application, second part, this part, that SAS application in turn will request for the particular specific task, okay, in the form of web services. Okay, for processing the web services, it need web server. Okay, the application will send the whatever the specific information will be sent to the web server. Like for suppose I want to get the PNR status, okay, that PNR status will be processed at the web server end. Okay, it will give the result back to the web application. Okay, that application again send that information to the user. Two tasks will be there. One is user will first, he need one specific application like PNR status getting. Okay, it will send for the information to the IRCTC website like SAS application. Okay, this IRCTC application again process that one. Okay, by sending that information like PNR number, that will be sent to the IRCTC web server. Okay, there the application will be processed like an PNR status will be get. Okay, that will be sent back to the application. The SAS application means IRCTC application, again that send that information back to the user. This way, this specific task like web service will be process. Clear guys? Fine, write down this diagram. 73, tell me after completion of this diagram.
Chaudhary, are you there? 95 Chaudhary, are you there? Once again, I am calling you. 95 Chaudhary. Okay.
Okay guys, let us go the main discussion, that is service oriented architecture guys. Okay, it is application development guys. Okay, here it will combine or integrate one or more web services. Okay guys, first we have started with SAS, after that we went for the web services. Now we went for the main discussion, that is service oriented architecture. Now understand guys, what is service oriented architecture? It is application development technology. Okay, it's an application development technology. Here what the developer will do is they will integrate the one or more web services to get the service oriented architecture. Service oriented architecture means it's a software development environment. Here we will integrate one or more web services guys. Clear guys? Now what is a service oriented architecture? It's a application development technology. Here we will integrate one or more web services. Okay, here particularly web service is a function or subroutine. It's like a normal function guys. Normal function, what it will have? It will have some body and some parameters it will take, and it will return some parameter after execution of the function. Likewise here this web services will also, like it's a function or subroutine, it will having some perform some specific task, and it will take the arguments, okay, and process the sub task, okay, and finally result will be sent back. Understand guys, what is a web service? It's like a function or subroutine. Okay, for particularly for doing one specific task, Clear guys, what is a web service? All of you clear? Service oriented architecture, everyone understand what is service oriented architecture now?
Yes, sir.
Super. Okay, this is how the web service will be processed. I told you guys, web service is nothing but a function. Okay, web service is nothing but a function. Who will give the request for that one? The application consists of number of web services. Okay, number of functions, like we call them as a number of functions. Okay, how the function will be executed? Okay, with the help of function name. Likewise here also the web service will be executed with the help of web service call. It takes parameters. This is the overall application guys. It consists of number of instructions. Okay, in between that, whenever we need any web service, we will call the web service with the help of web service name and the parameters. Here observe guys, application consists of number of instructions. In between that it is having the web service call. In between that it contains the web service call, and it is also takes the parameters also. We have to pass the parameter. For suppose I want to execute for particularly PNR status calculation. What we will do is that for that one web service there is a function, some function will be there. How we will call with that PNR status. For suppose the service name is PNR status. What is the argument for that one? We have to pass the PNR number. Then only we will get the PNR status, right? Without the PNR number, we cannot calculate the PNR status. That will be the argument for that particular call. Okay, that will be sent to the web server. Okay, web server is having the different web services. Here it will having the definition for the web service. Okay, here the web service will be executed by taking these parameters at the web service end. Okay, it will process that one. Okay, and the result will be, what is the result for that one? Particularly for this PNR status. Okay, the seat is allocated. If the seat is allocated, particular seat number will be went back. If it is not allocated, the waiting list are like that, the information will be sent back to the client. Understand guys how the web service will be calculated, how the web service will be executed. It's like a function, how it will be executed, the function with the function call, and it will takes the parameters. Here I need one web service. At that time I have to place the web service call with a parameters. Particularly for this IRCTC PNR status, what is the argument one, guys? We have to pass the PNR number. That PNR number will be went to the IRCTC server. There the web service will be processed with the help of web server. Okay, here the IRCTC website like server will calculate the PNR status, and result will be sent back to the application. Okay, okay, what is the result from the web service? It is a PNR status, like seat is allocated or waiting list, that will be sent back to the result. Okay, application. Okay, write it this diagram also, guys. All of you understand? Number 69, fine. Understand for you?
Yes, sir.
Ramya, super.
Yes,
Write
sir.
down this diagram.
Already.
Okay, guys, let us proceed for the next slide. Okay, guys, whatever the explanation I have given, this is the explanation, guys. The program is running on computer. The call will be a web service. The message will be containing the parameters, values are sent across the network. What that is the thing I told you. Okay, the web service is like a function. How the function will be executed, guys? With the function name we call, and with the parameters also. Those parameters will be sent for the processing, and the result will be back to the application. Okay, clear, guys, that point? The next one is we call them as a remote procedure call. This web service we call them as a remote procedure call, guys. Okay, another name for this web service is we call them as a remote procedure call. Okay, here this set of web services we call them as application program interface. Application program interface. Normally this application program interface, we see this one in the Java, it contains the different library functions calls. Am I right or wrong? Okay, likewise here also these web services, we bundle them, we call them as a application program interface, APIs. API consists of different web services, a set of web services, a bundle of web services, we call them as a application program interface. If you take the example Amazon and eBay, these are the examples for APIs for purchasing a product from the across the web. Okay, with the help of eBay we can purchase the different products from the online. Likewise Amazon, with the help of this one also we will purchase the different products. Amazon and eBay both are comes under API, application program interface. It's a set of bundle of web services. Okay, this web service another name is remote procedure call. Another name for the web service we call them as remote procedure. Why we call them as a remote web procedure call, guys? The procedure for this call will be there in the remote in web server. Okay, that's why we call them as remote service call, remote procedure call. Okay, the code for that one is not there in the local system. Okay, whenever we need that request, that's the information will be sent to the web server. Okay, there in the web server the information related to that one, like function definition, will be there. At that point, at that location, that is web server location, the process has been done for the web service. Okay, again the result will be back from the web service. If you take this diagram, this is the explanation. Normally you are at this place. Okay, you want IRCTC PNR status. The PNR number will be sent in the network, that will be executed in the IRCTC server, that is not at your local place, that will be in the remote location, another location. There the information will be processed. Okay, after processing that one, the information is sent to a you. Okay, that's why you understand, guys, how this name comes into picture, remote procedure call. Okay, the code for that one, the web service will be there in the some remote location, that is in the server. Clear, guys? Let us go for the next slide. Fine, guys? Okay, these are the different services names and their description, guys. Okay, here different web services are there, like Saudi shopping service. It will provide the information related to the Saudi shopping site. Okay, it will give the information related to the Saudi shopping. It's a one web service. Likewise, World Football Championship. Okay, this is a one web service. Okay, it will give the information related to the football champion details. Another web service. Likewise, a China emergency is there. Chennai emergency, sorry. Okay, it will give the information related to the Chennai emergency. Okay, write down this one also. These are the different web services and their descriptions. Web services and their description. So the shopping, football championship, okay, each and every one service name will gives the information related to a particular. So the shopping means gives the information related to the the shopping related information, and the football championship gives the information related to the football champions details, and Chennai emergency, it will gives the information related to the Chennai emergency and provider. Let us go for the next slide. Now we have to discuss about the cloud versus grid also here. Okay. Okay, let us discuss about the cloud and grid here. Normally, if you want to say, there is a very little difference between the cloud and the grid. Okay, the main difference between the cloud and the grid is grid systems are static resources. We cannot dynamically increase or decrease the resources in the grid systems. But coming to the cloud, okay, it's elastic in nature. Dynamically we can increase at any point of time the resources, or we can reduce the resources at any point of time. We already know that one, right? Okay, cloud means dynamically we can allocate the resources or we can reduce the resources. That point we know. But grid systems, these are static resources, guys. Grid systems are static resources. Okay, if you went for the cloud, or suppose grid systems, if you want to increase the resources, it's not possible. But if you went for the cloud, means if you want to increase the resources or reduce the resources at any point of time, it is possible. That is why the clouds are dynamic. Cloud is dynamic. At any point of time we can increase the resources, at any point of time we may reduce the resources. Particularly, guys, how this cloud is achieving this one? With the help of virtualization. With the help of virtualization, the cloud is achieving the dynamicness, elastic nature, right? And moreover, that with the help of this virtualization only, the cloud is achieving 100% result, 100% efficiency. I will give you the example, guys. For suppose, okay, one server is there, that cost is 10 lakhs. That cost is 10 lakhs. Okay, for suppose for that for second year I'm using that one server, for third year I'm using the server, and fourth year I'm using the server. Okay, for first server is for second year, and second server is for third year, and fourth server is for third server is for final year. 3 servers are there. Each server capacity is 100% for suppose, and each server cost is 10 lakhs. Overall, how many servers are there in our IT lab? 3 servers are there. One is for second year, one is for third year, and one is for final year. Each one server cost is 10 lakhs. Total cost is 30 lakhs. Okay, and for suppose if the second years are using that server, okay, they are using only 25% of this capabilities. The remaining 75% is wasted, for suppose. Okay, for third year also the same thing. 25% is utilizing the server, and the 70% of the remaining work done from the server is wasted. Likewise for the final year also. Likewise for the final year also. But if you went for this virtualization, guys, only one server is enough for the second year and third year and final year. Second year and third year and final year. Total 25% for the second year, 25% for the third year, and 25% for the final year. Overall 75%. Okay, only one server is enough with the help of virtualization. With the help of virtualization, we are increasing the efficiency of the server. Now 20 lakhs. Okay, only one server is enough means other two servers, the cost of the two servers is 20 lakhs that we can save with the help of virtualization. Okay, we will see deeper into this virtualization in the next second lesson. Okay guys, if you at this point of time you have to observe the one point. With the help of the virtualization, we are able to increase the efficiency of the server, and we can reduce the cost also. We can reduce the cost also. Understand guys? This is the point we have to remember for the virtualization related to the cloud. Okay, here the main point is grids are static in nature, the clouds are in elastic in nature. Means dynamically we can increase the resources or we can reduce the resources with the help of virtualization guys. Clear? Fine. Let us go for the next slide. Okay guys, the main subtopic name, that is the first one is, let us go back once. Okay, software environment for distributed systems and clouds. First, we have discussed about service-oriented architecture. In that, we have detailed discussion related to the SOA and web services, all those things. Next, cloud versus grid, we have discussed in the service-oriented architecture. The second one is trend towards the distributed operating system. Trends towards the distributed operating system. Only small point, guys. Let us discuss this trend related to the distributed operating system. Okay guys, let us observe this point guys. Okay, in distributed systems, all the nodes are normally independent operating system guys. All the node will have run with a independent operating system. Each and every node will have separate operating system. Separate operating systems are there in the each and every system in the distributed operating system. Okay guys, to get the best efficiency in the distributed systems, okay, they have to maintain distributed OS guys, to manage all the resources, to get the better performance in the distributed systems. Okay, they will have the distributed OS to maintain all the resources, to get the more efficiency in the distributed systems. Previously only independent operating system is there in the distributed systems. Okay, to get the better efficiency, okay, to manage all the resources effectively, they will have the distributed operating system to get the better efficiency. This is the information related to the trends towards the distributed system service. The previously is independent operating system, to get the better efficiency and managing the resources in a better way with the help of distributed operating systems. We can achieve that one. Clear guys? Fine. Write down this point also. With this slide, the fourth topic is over guys. The last and final topic is there. Let us discuss that one in the next class. The final topic of the first unit also takes 2 more classes. Okay, in this week we are going to complete the first unit.